So, Ingrid, let's talk about LinkedIn. Let's talk about LinkedIn strategy. And more importantly, tell me why, as a successful entrepreneur online, outside of LinkedIn, have you felt the need, have you not been active on LinkedIn? Like, why have you neglected your LinkedIn profile for so long?
I know I've been an absolute shocker. And to be honest, you know what? I've managed to grow my business mainly on Instagram and Facebook, email marketing being a very, very key channel. And I recognized a while ago that obviously a lot of female entrepreneurs who are my target market are on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn historically for me has really been more of where I've had my personal profile. And because of my personal profile, I'm being very connected to, I guess, all the clients that I consult to in the corporate world. So we have all these clients with their personal profiles. And to be honest, it just was not my jam. And this probably, I shouldn't say this, but when I go onto LinkedIn, I actually want to vomit because most of the people that I am linked to are all out there really just promoting themselves and showcasing themselves. And there's really not much substance to it. It's everyone just saying, oh, look, I did this, and oh, look, I did that, and oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. And, you know, everyone likes that and makes these arbitrary comments, and it just feels so fake. So I didn't see really the relevance of that because I'm not trying to climb the corporate ladder, and I wasn't attracting corporate clients there anyway. So I suddenly thought, well, you know what? There's got to be another whole world to LinkedIn. Surely it can't just be this whole kind of following of all these people trying to just showcase who they are, hoping that some recruiter's going to find them and headhunt them type thing, because that's how it feels to me. But then I have looked at LinkedIn, and I actually did a short course through a woman in America, and I realized that actually LinkedIn is great for business. And here I am, finally looking to a LinkedIn strategy for working women's world.
I love what you said because that's exactly what I hear from many entrepreneurs who've achieved success or who are happy with the social media platforms that they're using, and they just don't see the relevance to LinkedIn. And it has got that, well, my market isn't in the corporate world, or I'm not, I'm a personal photographer, or I'm what, all these different fields. Are my ideal clients actually on LinkedIn, and are they going to be there and finding me? So I hear that so often. And as a career strategist, I mean, my work is about helping people find the work that they love and their calling. And often that is working within the entrepreneurial space and working with entrepreneurs to get a greater sense of what type of work they want to do within that entrepreneurial space. But let me tell you about my history with LinkedIn, because quite honestly, when I first created a LinkedIn profile back in the, early Footsack days, it was because I was in the corporate world and I needed it to recruit. That was the only reason. I didn't see any relevance to it other than, well, there's this online place where everyone's kind of showing off and I can go and see who are the best talent to go and recruit. So I didn't understand LinkedIn when I first created a profile at all, and I wasn't using it properly. But then I hit my career friction. I turned 40. I was like, I can't keep doing this corporate work anymore. I need to change. I need to figure out what I want to do. And that created what is my career strategy process that I now take people through. And in that moment, I suddenly looked at LinkedIn in a very different way. I had this big account because I had been in recruitment. So I had a lot of followers and a lot of connections, but they weren't necessarily connections and followers that were relevant to me at that stage. But I just started using my profile to talk about the shifts that I was making, and that visibility created huge opportunities. And since then, I've not really looked back, because LinkedIn was the first lead generation for my business. When I formalized that I was going to be a career strategist, when I created a very easy, a make your own Wix website was all I had at that stage, I started telling everyone on LinkedIn about this and saying, this is what I'm doing and this is my journey. And everything started coming through. Nobody was going to my Wix website, and my socials weren't great, but I was kind of keeping up with posting on Instagram and Facebook, and I had a YouTube channel. I mean, I went wide. I did all the social media thinking this is what you need to do. But it was LinkedIn that started to attract my ideal client. I had corporate women who were exactly in the situation and position that I'd been in who wanted to reach out. Now, anyone listening to this might say, well, that just confirms the fact that it's great for corporate women. But no, it's great for anyone. It really is. So my journey with LinkedIn has evolved, and having been very active and I've consistently just always shown up on the platform month after month, year after year. Some of the time, I mean, initially I didn't know what I was doing or what I was saying. So it was all over the show. It wasn't a structured process at all. And I didn't have a beautifully planned out content plan, but I learned through trial and error. And I realized, I just really doubled down on LinkedIn, because every time I opened LinkedIn, there was another client that wanted to work with me anywhere in the world. So I was like, okay, this is fantastic. And then a couple of years ago, I mean, I've been in my business now for 12 years. A few years ago, LinkedIn rewarded me with the Top Voice recognition. Now, it's an interesting recognition because you can't put your hand up for it. You can't say, I want to be a top voice. The LinkedIn editors just randomly scroll through everyone's profile per region and then pick the people that they see as top voice potentials and candidates, and they approach you and they say, would you like this recognition? And then the surprise and excitement and surprise was absolutely, I would like this recognition. But the criteria of being a top voice is really just consistency, quality posting, and sharing with your network. But LinkedIn isn't just about posting content. I would be completely amiss if I were to say to you, Ingrid, now I'm calling you LinkedIn. If I were to say to you, Ingrid, you need another whole platform to start creating a content plan on. That's not the case at all. And what I'm excited to show you in our LinkedIn strategy sessions is how you can use it so that you get the benefits from it. You don't feel like you're constantly having to be there every single day, posting all the time. We are going to set LinkedIn up like the tool that it is for you. Being on LinkedIn isn't the strategy. It is just a tool. You and I are going to set the strategy, and then we're going to program this incredible machine-based learning algorithm beast tool to work for you. So how does that sound?
I'm very excited about that, Lisa, because I think what I recognized is that being on Instagram and Facebook, you are putting out a lot of content. And with the algorithm there and all sorts of issues, what I realized is that I grew a lot of followers, but I didn't grow a lot of customers or buyers because you put out content and people really consume all that content, but to convert them is a different story. And I think I also realized that I'm looking to help female entrepreneurs that are established in business, because I've spent the last 25 plus years really consulting to big corporates and massive multi-global brands, So the thing is that I need to be attracting female entrepreneurs that have sort of at least a 5 to 6 figure business, and they are not hanging out on Instagram or Facebook. So they are hanging out on LinkedIn. And what I'm excited about also is that, from what I understand, that on LinkedIn you make real connections. And I think that's important too. So yes, I'm very excited to see how I can make this work, and really how I find those people, how I attract or connect with those people, and as you say, the strategy, because this is all new news to me.
So there are 3 things that I'm going to share with you quickly now before we get into the nuts and bolts and actually log into your LinkedIn profile, that just hopefully, if anyone who might be listening to this who thinks, great for you, Ingrid, you are looking for the people who are on LinkedIn. Great for you, Licia, your clients are on LinkedIn. Again, I have seen birth mothers, doulas, photographers, esoteric energy healers, and you name it on LinkedIn. Just because, don't assume that your target market isn't there. They actually are. So I'm not going to go into the history of LinkedIn because we can talk about that in one of the sessions. These are the 3 important things. The first thing is that whether you have an optimized LinkedIn profile or not, simply creating a profile in your personal name boosts your search engine optimization phenomenally. And the best way of testing that is, I mean, we as entrepreneurs all have, you know, websites and social media handles and everything outside of LinkedIn, but just Google yourself, and the very first thing that will come up is your LinkedIn profile,
LinkedIn.
regardless
Yes.
of whether it's an updated picture or it's optimized, because nobody can beat the search engine optimization of LinkedIn. And when I say that to any of my clients and or anyone who's a bit of a LinkedIn doubter, the sort of the Rubik's cube starts clicking over, because that's massive. And if you have got a LinkedIn profile that you might have created some years back, like you and I, with no real plan or reason to it, just because it was important to get, people are finding you based on what's out there, because that's the first thing that comes up. So that to me is like point number one. Whether you want to be there or not, get into it and optimize your profile. And then once you've optimized your profile, you're actually going to see how much fun it actually can be. And yes, I did say fun and LinkedIn in the same sentence. It can be fun. It's not all boring corporate schmorporate. The second thing about LinkedIn is that you can create a company page for your business. Now, creating a company page on LinkedIn doesn't mean, it doesn't have to be a registered company. You don't have to give registered company information or anything. I have a company page for my podcast. People have company pages for the books that they've authored. So a company page is in your experience section. It's a placeholder that can talk about what your business is. Now, that means that you have a personal profile and then you have a separate company page. And on that company page, you can populate a whole bunch of really exciting things. And I'm starting to say to entrepreneurs now, who my clients who are transitioning from corporate into entrepreneurship, I'm saying, pause on that website that you want to create and spend beautiful time, energy, and money on. Start with a LinkedIn company page, because that visibility is 100% what you need. And then the third thing about LinkedIn is it can be programmed according to what you need. I'm not a believer in 5 hours every day and I just think that's crazy, but there's so many different elements to it. I actually sometimes consider myself a bit of an anti-LinkedIn trainer, because I'm going to show you the things that you can do that wouldn't normally be what a LinkedIn expert or trainer would want you to do, because they would want you to maximize the platform as much as possible. Sure, I want you to do that, but I'm going to show you how to do it without being there forever and a day. And we're going to talk about breaking LinkedIn down into a 90-day time period. So the first thing about reducing the overwhelm is that you look at a short amount of time, and then in a weekly basis over the next 3 months, which is your 90-day time period, how consistently can you be there? Now, you could be there once a week or 7 times a week for every day in the week. You choose your cadence that supports you, that you can be that consistent with. And that to me, I think, is quite powerful to know that as an entrepreneur, this is not another social media platform that you have to become a slave to and that you have to spend a huge amount of time on. And then the last kind of bonus point is that there is nothing wrong you can do on LinkedIn. Whether you share a post that's unstructured, whether you speak what the platform.
Lisa, you just froze there. Are you there with me?
A minute.